Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing my best to explain to you guys what synchro is. So, synchronized figure skating is the sport that I did for 10 seasons, and all of the information that I'm going to be giving you is either going to be based on my own experience or it's going to be from the US figure skating website. So, if you want more information, you can also go to them. This is going to be very basic, just like the need to know stuff. It's not gonna be super in-depth or super detailed, so if I get something wrong, it's not accurate anymore because it has been a while since I was a part of synchro. Let me know. Let's get started. So the Google definition of synchronized skating, literally I went to Google and I googled what is synchronized skating. Synchronized skating, often called synchro, is an ice skating sport where between 8 and 20 skaters perform together as a team. They move as a flowing unit at high speed over the ice while performing elements and footwork. First performed 69 years ago, governed by the International Skating Union, and maximum of 16 people can compete on the ice at once. Teams can be co-ed. Normally they are all girls. I've never seen an all-boys team in my life. There's just not that many boys that compete in synchronized skating, but teams can be co-ed. So with synchro, there's usually one big team, the organization. There are, I believe, 19 different teams that you can be on within this organization. I'm gonna read those off for you. So it starts with, they're grouped into 3 groups. It starts with Aspire Synchro, and there's Aspire 1, 2, 3, and 4, and these are the lowest levels. These are for skaters who are learning to skate, learning about synchro. They're usually young, and they just don't have the skills yet to be on this higher level team. The developmental teams come next. That's going to be preliminary, pre-juvenile, open collegiate, open adult, and open masters. So collegiate, adult, and masters, those are obviously going to be for the older skaters. That's going to be for people my age, and for masters and adult is older. Sometimes there's age limits. A lot of them have age requirements. Open juvenile, I believe you have to be 13, but I could be wrong. That might have changed recently. So then we have the competitive levels, and this is going to be juvenile, intermediate, novice, junior, senior, collegiate, adult, masters, and senior elite 12. Elite 12 is new, and we're going to be talking about that in a second. The synchronized skating website on US figure skating says, quote, can compete at any non-qualifying synchronized skating competition and enter their respective sectional championships to qualify for the US Synchronized Skating Championships. Top performing teams at the junior, senior, and senior elite 12 levels can earn the opportunity to be a part of Team USA, with 2 teams going on to represent the United States at the ISU World Junior and ISU World Synchronized Skating Champions, and those are senior teams usually. So that's kind of a lot of information, so I'm going to break this down for you. Juvenile has an age limit. I think you cannot be older than 13 to be on that team. Intermediate, I was on that level for 2 seasons, my last 2 seasons, the best seasons of my life. Novice, junior, senior, those are all very high level teams, and with senior especially, it is not common for every organization to have a senior team. It is very difficult to maintain a senior team. Collegiate is usually hosted by a college or hosted by an organization that is near or surrounded by multiple colleges. Adult and masters, again, that's going to be for the older folks, the people out of school. When you think of an adult, like, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, that's where adult and masters is going to be. And then senior elite 12. So that is a very similar level to senior when you think about it, but elite 12 means there are only 12 people on the ice at a time. Now, usually a team can have 8 to 20. I believe 8 is the minimum and 20 is the maximum people on the team. We have been trying to get synchro in the Olympics for years. Synchro is not in the Olympics. It's not an Olympic sport. Don't know why. It is a very competitive sport. It's elite level skating. And Elite 12 is a smaller number of skaters on the ice at a time, because a lot of the issue with synchro, one of the reasons why synchro keeps getting denied in the Olympics is because they don't want that many people. It's a huge team, so they don't want that many people there. So we're trying to get the team smaller, and the Elite 12 is just 12 skaters on the ice, and that would be the team that would represent us at the Olympics, if that makes sense. So basically, it's the idea that to create an Olympic team, it just needs to be smaller. So it's the Elite 12 skaters that are going on the Olympic team. Now, synchro is still not in the Olympics, but hopefully it will be soon. Most people retire before or after college. I did. You don't really have to. I don't know what the age cap is for adult and masters exactly, but like I said earlier, there's going to be people that are, in their 60s and they're still skating on adult or masters. I can't tell the two apart. I really can't. I never have been able to. In skating, there is test levels, and this isn't just for synchro, this is for regular figure skating. There's different test levels. There's 8 of them. The names were recently changed and I don't remember what they are, but there's 8 of these test levels, and synchro, a lot of the teams are based around these test levels, and you have to pass a certain test to be able to get on the team because you have to have that skill level. Normally, it's these basic skills that get evaluated, but there's also, once you get higher up in the levels, there's ice dance that is also evaluated, and freestyle, which is jumps and spins, is also getting incorporated into synchro more and more, so that's going to become more and more of a factor. So how are teams formed? So part of it is going to be based on age, but another factor is going to be skill level. Different teams, so US figure skating does have certain requirements for each level, but also different organizations will have different qualifications on top of those that US figure skating gives. So it can vary from team to team, but you will see that a lot of teams look about the same at different qualifying levels. For example, most intermediate teams are skaters that are in high school, and they have their a certain test level completed. The sweet spot for teams that are on the ice is going to be about 16 skaters. This is slowly coming down to more like 12. I like 16 better personally because you can make more perfect squares, and I don't know, I just like that number. 12, it just doesn't seem to be a lot of people to me. If a team has more than the number of skaters that they're going to be on the ice, then you're going to have alternates, you're going to have swings, you're going to have bubble skaters. I'm going to explain what all of that means. Not all teams are going to have bubble skaters. This is differs from organization to organization. Bubbles are skaters that are similar to swings. They do have a full spot on the team, but if they mess something up, if they fall in competition, something like that, or if someone else is outperforming them, they will be switched into a swing position. It means basically you have a full spot, but for lack of a better term, you're on thin ice. Swings are present on many, many levels. It means that 2 skaters share one spot, and they swing in and out, and usually one swing is chosen to compete in most of the competitions while the other is not, and they serve as it's similar to understudies in theater. So not only do they have to know their spot by heart, but they do have to be ready to step in if a skater who does not have a swing is injured or sick and cannot compete. If you have 20 people on the team and you're only skating 16 skaters, you're going to have 4 swing spots, which means that there's 8 swing skaters. On most teams, like the one that I was on, swings are guaranteed at least one competition. However, that does not happen in every single organization, and that depends on skill level. Swings are chosen by skill level. Alternates are skaters who do not have a full spot on the team, but they also do not share a spot with anyone on the team. So they are like the understudies that never get to go on, basically. They don't have a spot on the team, but they have to know the routine, they have to know the program, and they have to be ready to step in if something happens and there's no swing skaters available. Alternates are very common on senior, collegiate levels, occasionally junior, depends on how big the team is. Senior Elite 12, those sort of levels, the high level teams. They train with the team, they do not skate with the team. For teams where this is unusual, alternate spots are reserved for skaters who get injured and are out for most of the season, or have shown that they cannot handle being on the team. So there's also a position called cross skaters. This is different from a swing. A cross skater is going to be a skater who is on 2 different teams at the same time. For example, they could be on open juvenile and also intermediate. It could be on novice and also junior at the same time. They will usually have a full spot on at least one of the teams, usually the lower level one, and they are a swing on the higher level one. That is not the case all the time, but this happens because there are not enough skaters on the team without the cross skaters. For example, perhaps skaters dropped out, maybe they didn't have enough skaters try out, so what they do is they take skaters from a different level and they skate them down so that they have enough people to skate this team. That's a little bit confusing. It just basically means that there's one person who's on 2 different teams. The routines are called programs. There's different levels for every team, obviously. The Aspire 1 teams are not going to be doing the same thing that the junior level teams are doing. You will see things, line, circle, intersection, block, sometimes there will be a spin element, a wheel, a twizzle block. Like, there's just moves in the field. There's so many different like elements that you can have. A travel element is an element that travels from one side of the ice to the other. These are usually going to be circles, wheels. If you have a travel circle, you will not have a wheel, and vice versa. You will have both a block and a line, however. The traveling is just like, pivoting. The pivoting of the line and the blocks is a required element for some teams, but not all of them. It adds to the difficulty. Points are awarded or taken away for each element. An element, like I said before, is like a line, a block, a circle, things like that. Technical elements also includes level of difficulty, precision of formations and transition between elements, and then grade of execution. That's going to be judges can add or deduct points from the base value, and then that is based on how well the element is executed. So program components is going to be skating skills, transition, performance, composition, interpretation of music. That's going to be the artistic kind of aspect of it, and then all of that is added up, and that's your final score. Deductions can come from music failure, costume failure, falls is a really big one, missed connections, things like that, where it's just the program is not completely together. Alright, so that might have been a little bit confusing for you guys, but that is going to be the basics of synchronized skating. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I know that was a lot of information. Feel free to do your own research as well. I'm not the most reliable source when it comes to this. I'm just speaking from my own experience. I absolutely love this sport, and I hope that I can introduce a couple of you guys to this beautiful, amazing sport. With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Subscribe to see more, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!